What's up, everyone? We are live at 5. It's Monday, December 21st. Is that right? I'm
Yes.
Paul Wontorek,
I'm Beth Stevens.
and we're joined, as always, by Caitlin Moynihan. Hi, Caitlin.
Oh,
Super Christmassy today with the colored. Where are my colored lights? They're behind Caitlin. How you guys doing? Everybody have a good weekend?
it's
Everybody ready for Christmas? This is
yeah.
Lots
it.
of wrapping.
Final countdown. This is it. Everyone is so into Christmas this year, I feel like. Right? I mean, like
We're all
everyone
home, so
everyone is ready.
Mhm.
Oh my God, we have such an amazing guest today. I'm so excited to talk to her. Literally one of my who's that?
This is Weasley.
Well, you're stealing the thunder from today's guest. That is Weasley. Adorable. Oh my, I've never seen Weasley before. New. But Beth,
Sorry.
we have like an icon here. Who's here
That's
today?
right. We are honored and blessed to have Betty Buckley with us today.
Yes.
Tony
director
winner
section.
extraordinaire.
Yes. We adore her so much. And
Yeah.
you know what? And it's so good because right now it's like this time of year, don't we all just want to be around like things we love and comforty kind of things? This is a lead in. And Betty Buckley is one of those things for me. So I'm excited to see her. But also, let's bring in Lindsay Sullivan. Hi, Lindsay.
Hi guys.
How you doing?
I'm great.
So Caitlin, this was your idea. So tell me what are we doing? What is our sort of wrap up theme for the day before we get to Betty?
Yeah, so today, as you were saying, Paul, we're all just looking for a little bit of comfort. And, we have comfort movies, TV shows, books. And I was thinking about, like, what is our comfort Broadway show, specifically Broadway cast recording? What do we just find ourselves listening to that just feels like a nice little warm hug that just feels easy and nice and makes our heart happy? So that's what we're going to talk about today.
Okay, Lindsay, why don't you go first?
Amazing. Well, in a year where we couldn't really go to parties, I've been listening a lot to two party set shows, which are very different, but both at a party. The Prom, of course, which always gives me so much comfort to hear, just breathe, Emma, girl. And now we have the Netflix cast recording and the Broadway one. And another one that I've always just loved is Dave Malloy's Natasha Pierre and the Great Comet of 1812. We are Josh Groban Christmas Carol lovers in the Sullivan house. So hearing the soothing vocals of Josh Groban, Danae Benton, Britton Ashford, like, yes, give me that comfort, give me that glow, give me that Great Comet. So yeah, two very different shows, but two party set things that make me like, ooh, I can't wait to hug my friends and just listen to these beautiful songs.
I feel like, were you just quoting the Brantley review? Give me that comfort, give me that glow, give me that great comment.
Oh,
I love that.
Did you have
That
any
should have been on the front of house. Caitlin, why don't you tell us what is giving you some comfort?
Yes. So one, on a happy note of my comfort is just Newsies. It was one of my shows that made me re-fall back in love with, like, Broadway brought me to the city a bunch of times when I was in high school. So I love, seize the day. We're going to get the banner. We're going to give the people, the power people what we want, just fun vibes. And this is a comfort show. It's kind of sad, but Ragtime, just give me Audra and Stokes and Marin Maisie, just any day of the week. I will cry listening to Wheels of a Dream on a drop of a hat. And one other, it's not necessarily a cast recording, but bear with me, the Harry Potter and the Cursed Child music. It is beautiful. It is wonderful. It just has me feeling happy thoughts, makes me feel like I'm going to Hogwarts. So I find myself listening to it a lot during work while I'm like typing away, doing things.
What is the composer's name? Imogen Poots, is that right?
Imogen Heap, yeah.
Heap. Oh, Poots is an actress. Sorry,
I
get all the Imogens mixed up.
That's right, you do.
Yeah. Imogen Heap's music, and it is just, there's no lyrics. It's just music, and it takes you away. It takes you a magical place. So love it.
Awesome.
I'm gonna have to listen to that. That sounds great.
Mm-hmm.
It's great.
Go ahead, Beth.
Okay, these are when you want comfort.
Uh-oh. Do we lose Beth?
When we want comfort.
We froze right on Beth's moment. So I'm going to take over because I don't want to have awkward silence, and we'll get Beth back. I have a vinyl collection. And I obviously had vinyl when I was a kid because, am I frozen now?
No.
Am I okay? Okay.
You're good. You're great.
like what's happening? I've been rebuilding my vinyl collection because, hi Beth, I jumped in. So I've been rebuilding my vinyl collection, and Broadway vinyl is really important to me because a lot of it is actually not available, which is in digital form, a lot of it. But so I just had to pull up. I went and looked at my collection. And I said, well, which ones do I have to mention? I have to mention Annie. This is, as Andrew McArdle calls it, the Red Album. This is this is where it all started, people. This is Annie. I have to mention Song and Dance with Bernadette Peters. I love this music. I really, really, really am bummed that I didn't get to see our guest today, who took over the role after Betty Buckley was in Song and Dance. But also, just can we talk about the artwork? Can we talk about the double spread? Bernadette, can we talk about that? I mean, come on, that's amazing.
That's everything.
I have to mention March of the Falsettos. The Falsetto and Falsetto Land. The Falsettos musicals are extremely important to me. William Finn. Also, Elegies is a musical William Finn wrote that our guest today was in that I love, that I believe it's out of print. I'm not sure, but I have it, but it's amazing. I don't have it on vinyl. It's not on vinyl. And this is a copy of what Lindsay said, but I think we're all thinking about the Broadway cast of The Prom because, you know, the Netflix cast is fantastic, but we love our OG Broadway people. And this vinyl is colored. So these are colored discs, which is very exciting. Now, I have to tell you, another comfort album that I can't find in my collection that I already went on eBay and bought because I thought I had it is Cats. Cats, starring Betty Buckley, because that was like the first Broadway vinyl I fell in love with at the Hamden Library. I used to go to the Hamden Public Library in Connecticut and get Broadway vinyl, and I got that Cats vinyl, and of course, her recording of memory. So that is some comfort vinyl I'm missing, but I asked for rush delivery, so hopefully I'll get it by Christmas.
Maybe Santa will bring it.
What do you have,
Okay.
Beth?
All right. So I think just in keeping with what you're saying, Paul, sometimes it's things that you fell in love with early on when you were first introduced to Broadway. So 2 more Bernadette Peters shows for me. One is Mac and Mabel. And I want to say there she is with Robert Preston. I also saw it at Encores, and in 2020, though it feels like 10 million years ago, and I sat behind Bernadette Peters, but Alexandra Socha and Douglas Sills did a wonderful job. I love Mac and Mabel. Jerry Herman, they dedicated that show to Jerry Herman, who passed away last Christmas. Also feels like 10 million years ago.
And by the way, Beth texted me and said, I'm sitting behind Bernadette Peters.
Yeah. I didn't bother her, though, because, leave her alone. Also, Sunday in the Park with George is very important to me. There she is again with Mandy Patinkin. I mean, it's just a gorgeous score, gorgeous story from James Lapine. Of course, music by Stephen Sondheim. Gorgeous. I love that. I listen to it. It's moody. It makes me cry in a good way. Like you get it out. You feel good. Both of these are also about creation. I love things that inspire creativity. Yeah. And then the last one is The Last 5 Years with Norbert Leo Butz and Sherry Renee Scott, because those voices together are just perfection. I saw it at the Minetta Lane Theater a couple of times, directed by Daisy Prince. And it's just a great album. And you can listen to the Shmuel song on Christmas if you really want to.
Shmuel song, absolutely. The Shmuel song was actually, and surprisingly, that song worked really well in the movie version. I was surprised how well the Shmuel song worked on screen with Jeremy Jordan. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. Hey, Caitlin, will you please introduce today's guest?
It will be my honor. Yes, you guys, as we said before, we have Miss Betty Buckley, Tony winner. And she has a Tony nomination as well. Guys, today we're going to be talking all about her upcoming virtual concert that is happening tonight, and it's featuring her students and her song and monologue masterclass at the T. Schreiber Studio. So this is a benefit concert happening tonight. It's really exciting for her students to be able to show off all that they've been learning during this time away, and it's really great to see how much Miss Betty Buckley has been able to pivot during this time. So we're really excited to have her. You guys can leave all of your questions in the comments below, and please welcome Paul and Miss Betty Buckley.
Betty Lynn Buckley.
Hello. I'm so happy to be with y'all. Thank you.
BLB, direct from Texas. I love it.
Oh, it's so good to see you. I haven't seen you since Hello Dolly started the tour.
I mean, it's been years now. I know. I miss you. How are you? But you know what? You've been so active on social media, and I've actually loved seeing how much. I just love how much you're sharing, and I feel like you've just been really sort of out there, and this is, I know, I want to show off the Christmas lights behind
Okay,
you.
but
Is that what you're doing?
Wait a
I know, it's a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. There's lights behind Betty. There's Christmas in Texas. I love it. But yeah, I feel like you've been pretty active on social media, and I feel like you've just been sort of sharing a lot, and it's been lovely. And you seem a little wistful and sentimental too. Like you've been sharing a lot of things about your career, which are fantastic to see, and your family. And so I don't know, it's been great to see a lot of you out there.
Oh, thanks, Paul. I kind of repost things that people post about my career, usually because I haven't seen them for a really long time. And I'm like, oh, wow. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I have to say, in all y'all's discussions about cast albums, one of the greatest cast albums of all time is The Mystery of Edwin Drood original.
Yes,
It's
it is.
a perfect cast album.
Yes.
And the music and lyrics by Rupert Holmes are to die for. And that cast is one of the most glorious casts I've ever had the privilege to work with. So add that to your Christmas list too.
You know what? I do need to order that one off eBay. I find myself on eBay just searching for things that give me comfort, that make me like, I don't know. It's those things that sort of like you discovered at a certain point in your life. What was the music that when you were like a teen or just starting to get into the pageant world and the singing? And
fortunately for me, my mother had this fantastic cast album collection. She had everything. And I practiced singing, but my favorite show, of course, was Bye Bye Birdie in those days, because I felt I was a preteen and I thought I can be in this show, right? And so I learned Conrad Birdie's, the speech. The kid comes running in and says, "Tell us, oh beautiful one, tell us how you make that glorious sound that even now in anticipation of it has reduced me to a snarling, raging, panting jungle beast." That was my favorite thing, right? So when my mother was mad at me, which was frequently because I had 3 younger brothers and I was kind of like, well, anyway, I would race in and slide in on my knees when she was mad and say that, and she would just die laughing. So it always got me out of trouble. And I was determined I was going to go to New York and audition for Bye Bye Birdie to be, in the telephone hour and everything. But it didn't happen in those days. But I remember that. And I had On a Clear Day You Can See Forever, Barbara Harris, right? And I had, of course, West Side Story and Gypsy and all those albums, and My Fair Lady and Camelot and all those beautiful albums.
So before we forget, let's talk about tonight's event. This is very exciting. So how long have you been teaching?
We can't forget. Tonight is like so exciting. It's the first virtual concert given by the T. Schreiber Studio, where I've been teaching for over 45 years. And normally I would teach in New York like 4 times a year. But when the pandemic started, in March, I called Sally Dunn, who's the school the manager of the school. And I said, Sally, what are we going to do? And she said, okay, let's try this Zoom online thing. And I was like, whoa, that's interesting. And I was really nervous about it. But we started teaching at the end of the classes, the workshops, the end of March, and through now. And some of my students have stuck with me through the whole pandemic. And basically, there have been 2 classes, meeting on Tuesdays and Thursday nights. And they've done such good work in their growth. And they're people from like 18, 19 years old that are in college, or just going into school, into their theater schools of choice. And then there are older professionals, and people that have been working for a while. And it's been so exciting to watch them, their talent unfold with this. I share the tools that I work with, which are meditative tools. And I share a universal spiritual philosophy as the means for making your choices as a storyteller to ensure a kind of essential communication with your audience in storytelling. And I'm so thrilled for them. Anyway, I've had COVID. I'm just recovering from COVID.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a drag, I'll tell you, more than a bit of a drag, but I'm getting better every day. And so the past couple of weeks, I've been putting together the concert. They've been sending me their videotapes home, right? And I'm calling them or writing them and giving them notes, and then they've been making them redo it. And it's like it's been a great gift to me to have this point of focus through the whole pandemic, you know, because knowing I had to show up Tuesdays and Thursdays to meet with them and offer them my best information has given me a purpose through a time period that was otherwise bleak, you know. So I'm so grateful to all of them.
Well, you look fantastic for someone who's not feeling 100%. You look great.
When you called me, I was like, oh my God. So I raced in and
you look great. You look great. I love it.
My pajamas and then, you know.
So, and I'm excited to watch this tonight because it'll give me a little peek into your class. You know what I mean? I love seeing, it's like those New Faces shows that used to happen on Broadway in the 60s, right?
Yeah. Well,
like I get to look.
Their performances, like I've watched them over and over. And last night we had a little event, Zoom cocktail party to celebrate the concert, which starts streaming tonight at 7:30 for Broadway Cares Equity Fights AIDS. And that was a real honor too, that Tom Viola would let us offer it as a benefit, you know, because that again heightened our sense of purpose. So when I made them go back to the drawing board and redo their videos, which they were, by the end, they were like, oh my God, she seemed so nice in class, right? But I'm like, no, got to do it again. So it's that's been a real joy, but I love them so much. I can't even tell you, Paul, how much I love them. I've grown, they've expanded my heart like a million times, and watching them sing last night at the concert was so moving. And it was just so, it turned out that all the material they picked in terms of their stories and their songs are so relevant to the time that we're going through, and represent some of my favorite music and monologues from plays. It's like an hour and 10 minutes, 15 minutes long, the concert, but it's some of my favorite stories that and music that I know and love. Talk about things that make you feel comfy. So I hope everybody goes to see it and donates to our thing. It's BroadwayCares.org/Betty 2000.
The other way. 2020. Betty 2020.
Yes,
Betty 2020. Or if you go to tschreiber.org on their site /Betty-Buckley/Broadway Betty/Buckley Broadway Cares, and there's a donate button there, and you can watch the show there, and also. Broadway.com will tweet it at 7:30, so you can just do that too. Just look for we'll get you there. 17 students, right? There's 17 students in
17.
it.
Yeah,
amazing. I love it.
And then we also have had some observers who've been so delightful, and so their presence every Tuesday and Thursday night has just been incentive for the rest of us, and given us, you know, such support and so much love. They were at the party last night too, and I've you know, grown to love them as well so profoundly. Anyway, we start the classes again in January, and a lot of people are coming back, and then I'll also have a beginner class to my technique. What's not my technique, but who've never studied with me before. And we'll continue on, but now we're so into this concert thing because it's like you work harder when you have a goal, you know. So that was really fun to do.
I love that. So how's Lucas? I've been thinking about Lucas a lot. Lucas is one of your dogs.
Pat, can you get Lucas? Is he outside?
How many animals do you have down there in Texas?
Lucas, come, buddy. Come here. Oh gosh, I have I'd have to count them all. Come here, Lucas. Come up here. Come here, buddy. Come on up here. Hey, come on. Paul wants to see.
This is one of the many things I love about you. Your love of animals. Oh, hi, Lucas. What a cutie. Oh, adorable.
Yeah, he's so great. He's last year we found out that he was going blind in his right eye. And so we take him to this eye specialist, and this wonderful vet named Dr. Bernie too, who his daughter, it turns out, is one of my students, and he's a very hard vet to get into, but he always takes my calls because his daughter studies with me.
I love it. Okay.
It's pretty funny. But anyway, we've been watching the vision in his left eye to protect it, because we did all these tests, constant testing. We don't know why this happened. and he's been good, with this vision in his left eye. And then recently he started behaving differently, and we took him back to the doctor, and he's now blind in his left eye as well. And so I was really upset about it, obviously, at the time, but he's made very quickly after he was, after the first 2 weeks adjustment, he's amazing. He knows everything in my yard, and as long as we don't move anything in the house, he's fine, so, and he maintains his vigilance as a guard dog, which is great. His trainer was like, "You have the only blind guard dog."
Wow.
But he's such a sweet guy, and he's just has such a tender heart. And he was a bit confused at the beginning, but now he's like, "Oh, okay." And animals are such an inspiration in that way. They just take everything in stride. It's like, this is what's up,
I feel like you discovered this great life outside of New York and Broadway. How many years ago did you actually move down and buy that place in Texas?
2002, so eight years ago. Yeah.
And it must be interesting for you, because I feel like you must have seen a lot in the last year, a lot of people sort of discovering this, right? I mean, like, people are sort of and also I have to tell you, though, I love on your social media how much you've been promoting New York City as well, which is another thing. I really noticed all the things that you're doing, because we all want New York to be back to what the city we love and what we fell in love with. But I feel like you've also found this balance in your life a long time ago, and a lot of people are now sort of discovering more of a balance, right?
Well, you live in the country too, right?
I do. Yeah, I'm part of that. I'm part of that.
It's beautiful. So
I'm in the mountains. Yeah.
How long is the commute?
I've had the place about 6.5 years.
So how long is your drive to New York?
2 hours.
Oh, that's not so bad.
Yeah, it's 2 hours. But yeah, it's great with animals, and you're closer to family, right? Down.
I'm really grateful to be here. Friends who visited my ranch are like, "Oh my God, you live in a park," and I'm like, "Yep, I live in a park." So. Yeah, it's been a blessing to be here. And before I moved, I talked to my agents and managers and stuff, and I was like, "Is it possible for me to live outside of New York and still have a vital career?" And they were like, "Yeah, it's like a 2.5-hour flight to New York or a 2.5-hour flight to LA." So it's been good. And through the pandemic, I have to say, it's felt like a bit of an asylum, to be here. It's, feels comforting, and I have trees and grass and animals. And I was walking Lucas in September, I guess mid-September, and we heard these cries from the side of the road. We thought it was a weird bird. And Lucas and I went off the road and went down to this culvert of this creek, and there were these 5 kittens, like just 2-week-old kittens, and they came running out of their culvert and were trying to get to me. And then they saw Lucas, and they ran over and tried to get under Lucas. And he's like, what's going on? All 5 of them fit into my baseball cap. And so I called my assistant, Kathy, and I said, "Oh my God, I found 5 kittens on the side of the road." And she raced over with her car in a box and took them off to the vet. And the vet tech fell in love with one of the little black kittens, and she wanted to keep him because she has this little boy growing up too. And so we let her have him. And then one of them was very sickly, and she passed away. But the 3 kittens have flourished, and they came home because I had a shoulder replacement on September 25th, which is healing great. I'm like so happy I did it. And so we couldn't take them right away, but then after I got some time away from the shoulder surgery, they came home, and they're holy terrors. So you asked me how many. I have 6 cats in my house, and I have 4 dogs in my house. Kathy has in her house, she has 3 cats and a dog, and in the barn are 2 horses and a donkey. So we'd have to do the math it's a lot of animals, but I'm just so comforted by them. And at night when I'm, binge watching Netflix and stuff, I've got my cozy blanket in my chair that tilts back, and all kittens climb on my lap. And I'm like, oh, this is heaven, so sweet.
That sounds like heaven. What are you binging right now? Is there anything I should be jumping in?
Well, I love Bosch, and the final season, they finished half a season. They just finished the rest of it. I love that. I love Breaking Bad, which I'm late to see that, and I just loved it. I couldn't believe when it was over. I was so addicted. And Sons of Anarchy, I loved, which I'm late. I'm late on all this stuff. So stupid. And The Crown, of course. And then I watched Prom the other night. I loved the Prom. It was so good.
Yeah,
really fun.
Yeah.
And what else? What else have we been watching? God, so many good things. Oh, what was that? What? Oh, Queen's Gambit is fantastic.
Oh, I love Queen's Gambit. Yeah.
With my castmate from Split, Anya Taylor-Joy.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Of course. Yeah. That's right.
She's amazing. Yeah. She was like,
she was one of the girls. She was one of the girls that,
she's the main girl. And she was tremendous. What else have we been watching? I'm trying to think.
I'm obsessed thinking about what you could have played on Sons of Anarchy. You could have played something on that.
Definitely. Where
Actually, let's bring Caitlin in because I know there's some fan questions. I don't want to ignore the fans. And then, hi. Let's go to the other camera shot so we can really see Betty's lights.
Yeah.
There we go. We
get all the twinkling lights now.
We get lights now.
We get lights. Okay, well, the first thing is that Randolph on YouTube says, one of your students is here in the chat. Love you, Betty. It was awesome seeing everyone last night. So, hey, Randolph.
Randolph goes to school in Kentucky and he's singing from Big Fish, a song from Big Fish.
So were you surprised how much you liked teaching online? Was it actually?
I was. I didn't think originally that it would be possible to impart the same energy quotient or the same with, not being in the same physical space. Mm-hmm. But it's actually amazing, the intimacy, number one, on Zoom, and then number two is just it works. I was astonished. And the first couple of times I did it, I was exhausted because the classes are like 4 to 5 hours,
Oh, wow.
We take breaks and stuff, but then as it went along, I was like, yes, let's go. It's really fun. So Caitlin, I'm really glad I wore red lipstick, although I have to say yours is.
I forgot to put mine on.
Yeah, exactly.
What else do we have?
Okay, so that kind of goes off. The next question is Jackie on Facebook wants to know, what was the most surprising thing for you doing these courses online during this time?
That everybody could benefit and grow as dramatically as they have. And that I was actually able to demonstrate some of the physical stuff to them, that it works pretty much the same way. If not even more so because of the intimacy. I can't explain it, because you're just right there talking to people, for hours at a time. During the week, and it's like you really get to know people, so
I have to say that sometimes having a regular thing to do has been really, like, even us doing this show during certain weeks of the last year, it's been fantastic just to know, okay, we have to do something at this time, but it's been a dramatic year. I mean, obviously politically, obviously with the COVID. I know you lost your brother too. I wanted to send my condolences about that. So you go through your own personal issues as well. Have you found that just having sort of a regular thing has been really healthy for you?
Yeah, it's like having a sense of purpose that you have to show up at this particular time period instead of just stay in your pajamas and so you have to take a shower. You have to you have to get ready. And it also inspires. I've kept, speaking of your commitment to Peloton and your workouts and stuff, I work out with this phenomenal trainer, Pat Minocchia at La Palestra in New York. And got me ready for Hello Dolly. I mean, he's trained me for every big show, every big project I've done since Cats. And the guy's a brilliant, brilliant trainer and a super fantastic person. And just his whole being is inspiring, you know? So I've known him all these years, and he got me ready for Dolly, and I lost 40 pounds and I got in phenomenal shape, which I didn't know was even possible at my age. You know, when I started Dolly, I was like turning 71 or something. And I thought, oh, well, I'm an older woman, so this is how it is. And then he was like, oh no, you know, so he really got me in shape. So when so I saw him, I was doing the Carlisle for 2 weeks at the end of February, and our second week was canceled, and we were afraid to fly back. So we got a van and drove back. And then Kathy, my assistant of 20 years, promptly got COVID. And for some reason I tested negative, and then I got it a couple of weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago. And so what I continued when the pandemic started, I reached out to Pat, and his gym closed and everything. So a lot of his most loyal clients continued working with him online. Cool. And again, I was like, how would this work? But it does, you know, and I have all the equipment I need, and he assigns me what to do. And so he kept me really strong through this, meeting with him a couple of times a week. And so just having these commitments has helped keep it together through all of this. You know, I think it's very, very helpful.
You look fantastic.
Thanks. Thank you.
What else, Caitlin?
Cool. Awesome. Okay. So so Janie on Facebook wants to know, during this time, have you been kind of reflective on your career? As you've been sharing on social, like looking back on some of the projects you've worked on, has anything like favorite memories come back to mind, or have you been thinking back on your career during this time, and any stories you'd like to share?
Actually, my brother Norman is a director. He directed and is producing director of Sweet Magnolias, which was #1 on Netflix.
I know, big hit. It's coming back, right? It's coming back.
It's coming back. And so it's in the top 10 on shows of Netflix this year. And he's a brilliant guy. And, you know, he's talk about someone to follow on Instagram. He's at NORBUCK at Norbuck. And he posts the most beautiful photographs and things. And so I always say, you know, I'm not a nostalgist. And my brother is like, oh, Betty Lynn, that's such a stupid. What does that even mean? You're not a nostalgist. And I'm like, I'm not a nostalgist. I don't enjoy looking back. I enjoy looking forward. But yeah, I have to say there's been, I don't go seeking out these videos of my performances and stuff, but when people post them, I'm really touched by them, and I don't go watch them, you know, but when they post them, I'm like, oh yeah, I did that. That's cool. You know, like somebody posted the other day, it was really not
Druid in Central Park. Yeah.
The reading at the Public. And they posted the scene. It's an audio file of the scene with Howard McGillen, who played my Uncle Jasper, and I'm young Edwin Drood. And we've had a glorious dialect coach on that show. And so I had a British accent and stuff, and I'm this young boy, you know, he's like 20, 21 years old. And I was really touched hearing that scene with Howard McGillen. And then it goes into Two Kinsmen from the show, which is a glorious song. And of all my performing experiences, and I've been very privileged to have some major roles in some major shows, and, you know, experience like what I like to call full tilt boogie, you know, which Janis Joplin coined that expression, not me, but it's so expressive, full tilt boogie. You know, when you're on stage singing full tilt boogie in a Broadway show, there's nothing like it. It's like the greatest thing and the greatest physical, emotional, psychological experience in the world, with a big orchestra, with other great people around you. So Howard McGillen is a phenomenal actor, singer. And we have this very wonderful friendship. And we used to eat peanut butter and jelly sandwiches together in the park on our breaks, getting ready for Drood in the park. And That was our little ritual. Anyway, I loved singing with him. And when we sang Two Kinsmen and our two voices ring together, there was nothing like it. And like I said, the cast album is one of the most glorious ones ever in history. So somebody posted our reading at the Public Theater, for Joe Papp and stuff, which was, the early, like we'd rehearse maybe 2 weeks or something. And then we did this reading. And then of course it moved on to the park, and then it moved on to Broadway. But I was like, oh wow, because they posted the whole scene, and I was like, this is hilarious. This was so cool, because of course I don't remember any of. I remember being on stage. I remember the scene, but I don't remember the lines or all that stuff. And I remember the song. But I was really, really touched by that. Because I don't go searching for this stuff. I'm like, and I don't. So every now and then through the pandemic, I'm going, Jiminy Crickets, I've done some stuff, It's like,
I just want to say,
I'm thinking like that, so then to be reminded is really kind of, whoa.
I just want to say that being in the audience when Betty Buckley is going full tilt boogie is something to experience. Man, oh man.
Thank you.
I was there for her, Caitlin, you're going to be very jealous. I was there for Betty's Sunset Boulevard opening night, and it was epic.
It was epic.
Oh my.
That audience, I'll never forget it as long as I live. It was like unbelievable. It was like I was literally swimming through love. I've never experienced so much love. It was amazing. And after my first With One Look, I came off stage for the scene break, and David Caddick, who is this brilliant guy who was Andrew Lloyd Webber's musical supervisor for a lot of years, and he's a brilliant guy. He was like backstage, he's looking really Frenchy, and he's like, keep going. And I'm like, of course. It's hilarious because the audience, it was amazing. I can't explain it. It was just so amazing. Yeah.
It was major. And I just want to say that one thing that I've been feeling very nostalgic about my own sort of career and my life. And I just want to say thank you, Betty Buckley, because Betty really helped me get my start in this business.
Well, you did that interview before Sunset opened, right? It's like
I did. I did.
All day long, and we went to Central Park, and those pictures of us riding piggyback and all that, and Central Park was the best. You were like this courtly. You were like Esquire Paul Wontorek. You was just like this courtly young man who was so handsome and so vivid and so smart. And I'm like, wow, this guy's going places, Yeah, it was fun.
Well, I love you, Betty. I love you. Huh?
We bonded that day.
We did. I adore you, and you're always gold to me. So,
thanks.
What are you doing for Christmas?
Well, I'm going to go again today to have another COVID test, but my doctor assures me that I'll continue to test positive. So I don't think it's wise for me my mother is 95, and I've already put on notice that I won't. So I will be home. And so anybody that wants to text me or email me or call me, I'll be here.
She's taking calls.
Zoom with Betty Buckley. That sounds incredible.
Oh, that's so silly.
Are you also on this West Bank Cafe event?
Oh, yeah. I did.
Yeah. SaveWestBankCafe.com. They're the restaurant on 42nd Street. They're doing something.
The best French fries and the best. It's the best after theater on, when you're a place to go after the theater that I've been many times, and to opening night parties there for some of the off-Broadway things that I've done. And I was so sad to hear that they were having problems, but I think we can support them and bring them back. And the same is true for Joe Allen's, of course, and Orso's and all those incredible restaurants. But so they're doing a marathon on Christmas Day, and I'm happy to be a part of it.
You've gotten good with your setup. I loved your I'm still here. You have the mic now and the lights and everybody got so tech savvy this year.
Yeah, but everything I get, I find out I need another component, right? I don't know. And I'm like, what? And I've already invested all this money. And I'm starting to like take an animated voice. I want to do animated voices more than I can tell you since I was little. And I saw Lady and the Tramp. And I saw how Peggy Lee sang Peg the Pekingese and the two Siamese cats. I was like, I can do that. And so I've auditioned for animated roles, and I never get them. One time I got really close to playing this animated duck. And I had this really cute little voice, and I could sing in this little husky voice and stuff. And my agent gave the producers the wrong tape. They gave me one of my practice tapes instead of my final tape. I was so mad. And so anyway, I was just up for another animated thing, and I recently met online this wonderful guy, Charlie Adler, who's like the king of animated voices. Like he directs them, he plays these wonderful roles in animation. He's the king. Look him up, Charlie Adler. And so he's giving this animated voices course. And he coached me for my recent audition on the phone. And I was like, Charlie, can you help me? I texted him. He's like, yes, I can help you. And so like 8 a.m, I'm like doing my animated character who was a bear, a little stuffed bear. I was so excited. And she's a little warrior bear who has these like, little cocktail swords and stuff. And so it was so fun. And he coached me for that. And so they're interested, my agent says. So I'm really excited. I don't know when it's going to happen. So I'm taking his course on Sundays in January. I'm so excited. That's like what I really want to do is animated voices.
Well, now we know. That's the dream. That's the dream for 2021. We got to get an animal alter ego for Betty Lynn Buckley.
Yes, we have to get Betty an animated feature.
I love it. Thank
One
you.
more thing. I did this song story that's been in my mind for a long time that Christian wrote the music for. And it's a beautiful piece, and I want that to become an animated short. So I'm on a quest to find my animator and a producer. So if anybody knows some great animators or producers, I've got to get that made into an animated short. And did you see that little video we made, Matt Amato and I made, and Christian and my band, where we recorded For the Beauty of the Earth and Jesus Loves Little Children?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Yeah, I was so proud of that. We made that for the campaign. So my shrink tells me that I'm doing well, that I continue to generate creativity. So
you are. I'm telling you, you're doing a lot this year. You've been doing a lot. You can take a little holiday break, but I like that you're doing the animated course. I'm into it.
But my class, you've got to watch their concert.
Right.
They're amazing.
Tonight, put the address up again, Caitlin. 7:30 tonight Eastern time. And you can check it out, and please donate to Broadway Cares. It's an amazing organization. Obviously, they're helping out a lot of people this year, and that's the it's BroadwayCares.org/Betty 2020.
Yeah,
Betty 2020.
You'll love these people. They're coming from every level, every age, and they're just so gifted and so passionate and beautiful. And the concert will continue to stream through the new year, and will live permanently somewhere because I want everybody to see them. They're so gifted. And we start those classes again. And if you haven't studied with me, there'll be a beginner class, hopefully, if that comes together. But we start those classes for T. Schreiber again in January. So join us. And you don't have to be a professional to do it. I was
going to say, so if I sign up, I could sign up, and then you could teach me how to sing, how to go full tilt boogie. It might not sound as good as Betty Buckley, but
if you want to try,
maybe I'm thinking maybe I could be Daddy Warbucks in like 15 years. Maybe.
Why not? Why not?
But with hair. Okay, Betty Lynn, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure to meet you.
Great to see you. Thank you, Caitlin.
Thank you for joining us, and everybody. Watch the concert tonight and take the class in January if you want.
And donate to Broadway Cares if you can.
Yes, please.
Merry Christmas, everybody. And we've got to have a better year than this one for sure. Happy
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Caitlin, why don't you take us out?
Yes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in for this very special Monday Broadway.com live with Miss Betty Buckley. You guys can join us again on Wednesday at 1 p.m. for our very last live of the year. We'll see you then. Stay safe.